This looks like one of the most boring website ideas on the internet, a QR code generator. No products, no brand, no complicated software, just a simple, free tool. But look at this. This website gets around 7.2 million visits per month. And look at the pages per visit, around 3 pages per visitor. So people aren't opening one page and leaving. They're using the tool, moving around the site, and creating more page views. Why does that matter? Because when a website like this runs ads, more traffic and more page views can mean more ad impressions. Google even has an AdSense calculator that estimates revenue based on monthly page views, region, and content category. So let's enter a number close to this traffic. Look at the result. Now, this is only an estimate. The real number depends on where the visitors come from, the niche, the ad rates, the season, and a lot more. But even as a rough guess, the opportunity is clear. And remember, this isn't a complex app with a full team behind it. It's just a useful, free tool that people search for every single day. Here's another example, an invoice generator. Another simple, free tool. Around 2.1 million visits per month, and the pages per visit is even higher. So now you see the pattern. These sites aren't flashy, they're not complicated, they just solve simple problems people are already searching for. A QR code generator, an invoice maker, a Wi-Fi QR tool, a word counter. Most people ignore these ideas because they look too simple. But simple doesn't mean worthless. Sometimes the most boring websites are the ones quietly making money in the background. And this is the model. You build a useful, free tool. People search for it on Google, they land on your site and use it. And once the website is ready for Google AdSense, it can start earning from ads as the traffic grows. Now, I'm not saying you'll build a tool today and make thousands tomorrow. That's not how this works. You still need a useful website, real traffic, and approval from Google AdSense. But the model is real. And today, building the first version is easier than ever. So in this video, I'll build a free QR code generator from scratch using Hostinger Horizons. I'll publish it online, connect a custom domain, prepare it for Google AdSense, and submit it to Google Search Console so Google can start finding it. The QR code generator is just our example. The real idea is that you can use the same process to build all kinds of free tool websites around different search keywords. And I'll give you the full guide with every prompt so you can follow along and build your own. Let's start. The tool I'm using is Hostinger Horizons. Horizons lets you build websites and web apps just by chatting with AI. You describe what you want and it builds it. And for this kind of project, that's perfect. Because we don't just need a design. We need the tool, the pages, the editing, the publishing, and the domain setup, all in one place. So instead of jumping between different tools and code files, we can focus on the idea and build the first version much faster. To follow along, open the free guide in the description. In step 1, click Open Hostinger Horizons. If you want the same setup I'm using, my link is in the description too. Here, I'll click View Plans. Now, you can see the plans available. For this tutorial, I'm going with the starter plan. And the reason is simple. It gives us enough AI credits to build and test the project. It lets us create up to 25 websites. And it includes hosting and a free domain for the first year. So, for a project like this, it's a solid starting point. If you need more resources later, you can always move up to a higher plan. So, I'll click Select Plan. Now, Hostinger asks for the billing period. I'll keep it on 12 months. And this part matters. 1 month can look cheaper at first, but you lose a lot of the value, especially the free domain. And we're not building something random for a single day. We're building a real website we want to publish, improve, and monetize later. Now, to bring the price down even more, I'll click Have a Coupon Code. Then I'll enter Profit Studio and click Apply. The coupon is applied and the price drops. After that, I'll click Continue. Now Hostinger asks me to create an account. I'll continue with Google, it's faster. Then you'll reach the payment page. Pick whatever method works best for you. There are options like Card, PayPal, Google Pay, and Apple Pay, depending on your country. So choose the one you prefer and complete the order. After payment, Hostinger may ask how you want to build your website. Here, make sure you choose Vibe Code with Horizons. This is the option we need because we're building the website by chatting with AI. Then click Next. And now we're inside Hostinger Horizons. This is where the real building begins. Now we can describe the website we want to build. But before I write the prompt, I want to show you something inside the free guide. Because maybe you're not sure what kind of tool to build, or maybe you don't know how to write the prompt for it. So open the guide and go to step 2. You'll find a tool picker. Here I added different free tool ideas that people already search for. A QR code generator, an invoice generator, a percentage calculator, a business name generator, a word counter, and more. When you choose a tool, the guide gives you a ready-made prompt to copy straight into Horizons, so you don't have to start from zero. For example, if I pick word counter tool, the guide hands me a prompt built for a word counter. I copy it, paste it into Horizons, and start building. So if you don't have an idea yet, just pick one tool from the list and use its prompt as your starting point. But for this video, I'm building the QR code generator. So I'll go back to Horizons and write the prompt for it. And the prompt doesn't need to be technical. You just need to clearly explain what the tool should do, what pages you want, and what sections to include. So here's the prompt I'll use. I'm asking Horizons to build a clean QR code generator, where users can enter a URL or text, generate the QR code instantly, change the color, and download it as a PNG. I'm also asking it to make the website simple, fast, professional, and usable on both desktop and mobile. And I want it to add helpful content, a FAQ section, basic SEO details, add placeholder areas, and important footer pages like About, Contact, Privacy Policy, and Terms of Use. Now, notice I'm not only asking for the QR tool, I'm also asking for useful content, a FAQ, an SEO title and description, add placeholder areas, and the important pages. And there's a reason for that. Later, when we prepare the website for Google AdSense, the site shouldn't look empty. It should look like a real website, a working tool, helpful content, and basic pages that build trust. So now I'll send the prompt, and Horizons starts building. Honestly, this is one of my favorite parts, because if you've ever tried to build something like this by hand, you know how long it can take. Here, I just explained the idea, and Horizons creates the website for me. So I'll wait a few minutes while it works. And here's the first version. It already looks clean and professional. The main QR tool is right at the top. There's an input field for a link or text, color options, a live preview, and a button to download the QR code as a PNG. If I scroll down, Horizons also added the extra sections we asked for. Here's the How QR Codes Work section, and below it, the FAQ. It also added the important pages in the footer, About, Contact, Privacy Policy, and Terms of Use. Let's open one quickly. Here's the About page, and the Privacy Policy is there too. Of course, you'll want to review and adjust these for your own website later, but as a first version, this already gives us a complete structure. Now let's test if the tool actually works. Back on the homepage, I'll paste a URL. Let's use the Profit Studio website. And the QR code is generated instantly. Now I'll change the color. The preview updates right away. And if I want, I can click Download PNG and save it. So now we don't just have a design, we have a working tool. That's the first version of our free tool website, and from here, we improve it step by step. Now we have the first working version, but before we publish, let's test it properly and fix anything that doesn't look right. So in the guide, go to step 3, Improve the tool website. The first thing I want to check is the mobile version, and this matters because a lot of visitors won't open a tool like this on a desktop. They'll find it on Google, open it on their phone, generate a QR code, and leave. So the mobile experience has to be clean and easy. Inside Horizons, I'll switch to the mobile preview, and the website works. But the mobile layout isn't perfect yet. Some elements feel too wide, the spacing could be tighter, and the tool needs to sit more naturally on a phone screen. And that's normal. The first version from AI is a starting point, not the finished product. So instead of touching the code, I'll just ask Horizons to fix it. I'm asking Horizons to improve the mobile version, make the layout responsive on different phone sizes, fix spacing issues, and make sure the QR tool is easy to use on a small screen. Now Horizons works on the update. And here's the mobile version again. This already looks much better. The layout is cleaner, the tool fits the screen, and everything is easier to read and tap. Let me scroll down. The QR preview looks good, and the download button is clear. The feature cards are fixed too. Before, they were squeezed too narrow and the text felt cramped. Now they stack one under another, so each card has room to breathe. And this is a key point when working with any AI builder. Don't expect the first result to be perfect. Build the first version, test it, find one issue, then ask the AI to fix that one thing. That's how you get a clean result. Now I'll switch back to the desktop preview, just to make sure improving mobile didn't break anything. And the desktop version still looks clean, the layout's intact, and the tool is right where it should be. Now let's test the tool one more time, for real this time. I'll paste the URL of the guide page. The QR code updates instantly. I'll change the color, and it updates with the new color. But I don't want to just assume it works. So I'll scan it with my phone, and it opens the guide page correctly. So this isn't just a design, it's a real, working QR code generator. So at this point, we've got a working, free tool website, clean on desktop, solid on mobile, with a QR generator that does exactly what it should. Now it's time to take it out of Horizons and turn it into a real website online. So let's publish it. Inside Horizons, I'll click Publish. Then I'll click Publish Changes. And now the website is live on a temporary Hostinger domain. That's useful for testing, but for a real project, I don't want to leave it on a random temporary link. If we want the site to look professional, easy to remember, and trustworthy, we connect a custom domain. So I'll click Connect Domain. Now Hostinger asks which domain I want to connect. And because I chose the 12-month plan, I have a free domain available. In my case, you'll see 2 free domains here. One I already had from before, and one I got during this tutorial. But if you follow the same 12-month setup, you'll see the free domain option here too. Now, if you're not sure what name to pick, you can use ChatGPT for ideas. For example, I'll ask it for short and brandable domain name ideas for a free QR code generator website. And it gives me a list. Of course, not every name will be available. So take a few, test them, and pick the one that's short, clear, and easy to remember. For this one, I'll go with vivaqr.com. I like it because it's short, brandable, and tied to the QR idea. And when I can, I prefer a .com. It just looks clean and familiar. So back in Hostinger, I'll enter the domain, and it's available, free for the first year. So I'll select it and click Next. Now Hostinger starts setting up the domain registration. Then it asks me to confirm the domain owner details. These are used for the registration, so make sure your information is correct. I'll confirm and click Register. Now Hostinger adds the domain to the website. And there we go, the domain is added. I'll click Continue. Now, you might see a message saying the domain is connected, but that it may need some time to fully work, and that's completely normal. In my case, it took around 30 minutes. But Hostinger says it can take up to 24 hours, so don't panic if it's not instant. I'll click Got it. After a little wait, I'll open the Publish menu again. And now, the custom domain is connected. The site isn't on a temporary preview link anymore. It has its own name. So I'll open it. And here it is, the QR code generator, live on its own domain. It loads correctly, the design is intact, and the tool works exactly like before. Only now, it's public, a real website with a real domain, not a preview inside an AI builder. But a live website is only half the goal. The real point is to make it earn. So next, let's get it ready for Google AdSense. So what exactly is AdSense? AdSense is Google's platform for showing ads on a website. When your site gets traffic, it's one of the simplest ways to earn from it. But the ads don't show up instantly. First, Google has to review the site and approve it. So let's start that process. Inside the guide, I'll go to step 5. Then I'll click Open Google AdSense. And I like this line right here. You create, we'll help you earn. That's basically the whole idea of this video. We build something useful, and once it's approved, AdSense helps us monetize it with ads. So I'll click Sign Up. Here, AdSense asks for the website URL. I'll enter the domain we connected earlier, vivaqr.com. Then, for performance suggestions, I'll keep Yes selected. Now AdSense asks for the payment country or territory. And this part is important. Choose the country where you actually live or where your payment profile should be based, not a random country because you think it's better. Google uses this for account verification and payments, so it needs to be accurate. Then I'll scroll down. Here, you need to read and accept the terms and conditions. I'll check the agreement box. Then I'll click Start using AdSense. And now we're inside the AdSense dashboard. You'll see a few setup steps. The first one is payment information. This is where you enter your personal or business details, your name, your address, and the information Google needs for your account. I won't fill this in on camera because it's private. But when you do it for your own website, make sure the information is real and correct. The next important step is connecting the website to AdSense. So I'll click Connect your site to AdSense. Now AdSense gives us a verification code. This code confirms that we own the website. So we need to add it inside the header of the site. I'll click Copy. Now I'll go back to Hostinger Horizons, and I'll ask Horizons to add the code for us. The prompt is simple. Add this Google AdSense verification code inside the head of the website on every page. Do not change the code, and do not change or break the design. Then I'll paste the AdSense code below the prompt and send it. Horizons will add the code to the website, and once it's done, we need to publish the changes. This part matters. If the code only stays inside Horizons and we don't publish the website, AdSense won't find it on the live site. So I'll click Publish, then Publish Changes. Now the live website is updated. Let's go back to Google AdSense. Here, I'll check I've placed the code. Then I'll click Verify. And now, the site is verified. This means AdSense can confirm that we control this website. I'll click Next. Now we can request a review. This is where Google checks if the website follows the AdSense policies. So I'll click Request Review. Now AdSense asks us to create a consent message. This is about privacy and consent rules for certain regions, especially if your website gets visitors from places like Europe, the UK, or Switzerland. For this tutorial, I'll choose the second option, because it gives users clear choices, consent or do not consent. Then I'll click Submit. And now, the site is sent for review. This part is important. AdSense approval is not instant. Sometimes it takes a few days. Sometimes it takes longer, even a few weeks. So don't panic if your site is not approved right away. Submit the site, wait for the review, and in the meantime, keep improving the website. Now, before we leave AdSense, there's one more useful thing I want to show you. I want to see how ads could actually appear on the website, because we don't want ads to ruin the experience. So I'll close this page, then I'll go to Ads. Here is the website. I'll click the Edit icon. This is where we can preview and control how auto ads may appear. First, I'll turn on auto ads. Auto ads means Google can place ads across the website automatically. So instead of choosing every ad placement yourself, Google suggests placements based on the page layout. Now, I can preview how the ads might look, and I can switch between mobile and desktop. This matters because ads can look very different on a phone than on a desktop. A placement that looks fine on desktop might feel too big on mobile or sit too close to the tool. So I want to check both before applying anything. And here's the key rule for a website like this. The tool has to stay clean. If an ad appears inside the QR generator or right on top of it, it makes the tool harder to use. And people came here to use the tool, not to fight through ads. That's why AdSense gives us excluded areas. Here, I can select any area where I don't want auto ads to appear. So if a placement could interrupt the experience, I select that area and exclude it. Now that area is excluded. This means auto ads will avoid placing in-page ads there. Then I'll click Apply to Site. AdSense asks if I want to apply the changes now or run an experiment first. For this tutorial, I'll choose Apply Now, then Save. There's also a tab called Auto Optimize. This lets Google test and optimize ad settings for you automatically. Leave it on if you want Google to experiment on your behalf, or turn it off if you'd rather control everything manually. For a beginner setup, I won't go deep into every advanced setting, but the rule doesn't change. Preview first, and never let ads block the tool. Now let's go back to ad settings. There's also a section called In-Page Formats. These are ad formats that appear inside the page content, things like banner ads, multiplex ads, and related search. You can turn each one on or off. More formats mean more ad opportunities, but if you overdo it, the website can start to feel heavy. So the goal is not more ads. The goal is ads that fit the page without annoying the visitor. Now I'll go back. That was auto ads, where Google chooses the placements. But there's another way. We can create a manual ad unit and place it exactly where we want. This gives us more control. So I'll close this preview. Back in the Ads section, I'll go to Buy Ad Unit. Here, AdSense lets us create different types of ad units. For this example, I'll choose Display Ads. Display ads are simple and flexible. I'll keep the size on responsive so the ad adapts across desktop, tablet, and phone. Now AdSense asks for an ad unit name. This name is just for us inside AdSense, so we can recognize the ad later. I'll call it Horizontal Top Ad. For the shape, I'll choose horizontal. That fits where I want it, near the top of the page, between the title section and the QR generator. Then I'll click Create. Now AdSense gives us the ad code. This is what we place on the website, wherever we want the ad to appear. So I'll copy it. Now back to hosting or Horizons. And I'll ask Horizons to place this ad in a specific spot. Not inside the tool, but below the main title and description and above the QR generator. The prompt is simple. Add this ad code below the main title and description and above the QR code generator tool. Then I'll paste the ad code below the prompt and send it. Horizons will place the ad exactly where I asked. And that's the real difference between the two approaches. Auto ads are easier. Google decides where the ads may appear. Manual ad units give you more control. You decide where the ad should go. Personally, I like using both. Auto ads for the simple placements and manual ad units for the spots I really care about. Now Horizons added the ad code, and as you can see, we now have an ad space between the main title and the QR generator. But notice something. The actual ad is not showing yet, and that's normal. The site is still under review. So for now, we may only see an empty space or a placeholder. Once AdSense approves the site, ads can start appearing here. That's exactly why we set up the placement now, before approval is even finished. Now I'll publish the changes. Otherwise, this placement stays inside Horizons and never reaches the live website. So I'll click Publish, then Publish Changes. Now the live website is updated. So the moment AdSense approves the site, this ad placement is already in place. Now, an important reality check. None of this means the website earns money right away. First, the site has to be approved. And second, it needs visitors. Because without traffic, there are no ad impressions. So the real next step is getting the website in front of people, and that starts with making sure Google even knows it exists. Let's do that now. And the tool for that is Google Search Console. It's a free tool from Google. It lets you submit your site, check that your pages get indexed, and later see which search keywords are actually bringing people in. So in the guide, I'll go to step 6, submit your website to Google. Then I'll click Open Google Search Console, and I'll click Start Now. Now Google asks me to add a property. Here, I'll choose Domain. And I'll enter the domain name only, no HTTPS, no slash, just vivaqr.com. Then I'll click Continue. Now Google asks me to verify that I own this domain. And this time, the verification is a little different from AdSense. Google gives me a TXT record. I need to add that record inside the DNS settings of my domain. So I'll leave this page open and head back to Hostinger. Inside Horizons, I'll open the menu. Then I'll click Hostinger Dashboard. Now I'll go to Domains. Here's the domain we connected earlier. I'll click Manage. Then I'll open DNS/name servers. This is where we add DNS records for the domain. Under Manage DNS records, I'll set the record type to TXT. For the name field, I'll use the root domain value. In Hostinger, that's usually @ so I'll put @ here. Now, I'll go back to Search Console and copy the TXT record. Then, I'll paste it into the TXT value field in Hostinger, and I'll click Add Record. The DNS record is added, so I'll go back to Search Console and click Verify. And ownership is verified. That means Google now knows I own this domain, so I'll click Go to Property. And now we're inside Google Search Console. Since this is a brand new website, there's no data yet, so if you see empty reports or a message like processing data, that's completely normal. Google just needs time to crawl the site and collect search data. Now I want to submit the homepage, so I'll copy my website URL. Then I'll paste it into the URL inspection bar. Google checks the URL, and if it says the URL isn't on Google yet, I'll click Request Indexing. This doesn't guarantee instant ranking, but it gives Google a clear signal that this page exists and should be crawled. Now, one more thing. For a tool website like this, don't try to target everything at once. Start with one main keyword. For this site, that's something like free QR code generator. So the page title, the tool, the explanation section, and the FAQ should all support that one topic. We already added the content and FAQ earlier, but you can always go further later with better answers, real examples, use cases, and more helpful content around the same tool. And while Google is still discovering the site, you can bring your first visitors yourself. The easiest way? Short videos showing the tool in action. You can even use ChatGPT for ideas. So I'll quickly ask, give me 10 short video ideas to promote a free QR code generator website. Include a hook, a short script, and a caption for each idea. Now I can take any of these, record the tool on my phone or screen, and post it on YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram Reels, or Facebook Reels. It doesn't need to be complicated. Show a simple problem, show the tool solving it, and drop the website link in the caption or profile. That's how you get the first visitors while Google is still catching up. And that's the full setup, done. But does this mean the website makes money instantly? No. You still need AdSense to approve it. You still need Google to crawl it. And you still need traffic. What you have now is the foundation, a real tool website that people can visit, use, and, over time, find on Google. And remember, with the Hostinger Horizons plan I used, I can build up to 25 websites. So this doesn't have to stop at one tool. You can go back to the Hostinger dashboard, open websites, click Add Website, choose Hostinger Horizons, and start a brand new tool idea, a calculator, a word counter, an invoice generator, a business name generator, or any simple tool that solves one specific problem. And the approach stays the same every time. Don't build random empty websites. Build useful tools that solve real problems. Make them easy to use with helpful content. Publish them properly and prepare them for monetization. Then, give Google time to find them. If you want to follow the exact steps, the free guide is in the description. The Hostinger Horizons link is there too, so you can start from the same place. And if this video helped you, subscribe. I share practical AI website and online business tutorials like this one all the time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.